Broadcasting Network. Because you can handle the truth.
This is the Wayne Madsen Report, this Saturday Roundup, and we're coming to you live this December 4th from Washington, D.C. And, well, tonight we're going to talk about what we've heard about ad nauseum, ad infinitum for the past, week or so, WikiLeaks, and what this is all about. I have been on various radio shows and television shows in the past, and I have basically said that be wary of who is behind WikiLeaks, what the agenda is here, and the more we hear about WikiLeaks, the more we see their agenda, the more world leaders, even a former national security advisor to the President of the United States, they've come out and they basically said, look, it looks like a foreign intelligence agency is behind this WikiLeaks exposure of these State Department documents because the information is selectively being picked. There are redactions, which I thought was against WikiLeaks' policy. It was to let everything go, and we now have redactions of certain people's names in some of these cables. So we have a lot of suspicious activity with WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. How should I put it? Unusual leader of this group. And we'll talk about WikiLeaks and a lot more what we've heard. I'm not saying that all the information in these cables is fake, but it certainly looks like, at the very least, it's been cherry-picked. We don't know with the digital documents how much of these documents may have been altered. We do know there have been redactions, so they have been altered. We do know there were alterations to the documents. The question is, who did it? Was it the New York Times? If it's the New York Times, you might as well be the CIA. There's not a heck of a lot of difference between the New York Times and the Central Intelligence Agency. And that goes back to the foundation of the CIA in 1947. So we've got a lot of unusual activity. We've got a lot of unusual content in these various State Department cables, and we'll talk about some of those. But the blowback effect is already starting. As I say, there are people now questioning the motives, why one particular nation is coming out of this whole WikiLeaks thing smelling like a rose, when many other world leaders are embarrassed. There's one world leader who stands out as somebody who is actually crowing about these disclosures, somebody who seems to have something to gain, somebody who is basically just can't contain his glee over these leaked documents. And we'll expose him and his agenda later on in the program, because while leaders from Pakistan to Afghanistan to throughout Latin America, even our own leaders in the United States are wiping the egg all over their face, there's this one particular person, and this shouldn't come as any shock to anyone, this one particular person who, just like he was on 9/11, he can't contain his happiness. He's gloating like no one has gloated before. And we'll talk about the reasons why he can gloat over these documents being released, because it makes him and his policies and his agenda look very, very good in the entire scheme of things. And we'll talk about him and expose his name right after these messages. This is Wayne Madsen for Washington.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come.